Hello and welcome back to The Broken Doll. Okay, today I come to you with this EffanBee triplet number 3. She's been quite the unique little doll here, and I've been having a lot of fun learning about her. So we're going to do a little history on her, and we're also going to look at her eyes, and we're going to talk about eyes. Now some of this might be a repeat for a lot of you out there who already know because you've ripped apart dolls and you know how they work. But I learned something today and it needs to be shared. But I also want to share to those that are just starting in this field who have never taken a doll apart and the scary parts about it and learning what to do and everything. And I think that's why I make these videos, is to help those out and let you know I'm learning. I'm always learning, and I'm finding out new things about dolls, that these old dolls that I've never seen before, just because I take them and I rip them apart and we rebuild them right back up to as close to as possible to their way that they were when they were made back in 1924 for this doll. Now, just a little history. When the gentleman who made this doll by the EffanBee company, he found out that he brought the doll out in 1926, made in 1924, came out for the Christmas of 1926, and what happened was it was a hit in the Christmas catalog. This little baby came out right around the same time as the Bilo Baby. Now the thing is that this is sculpted from a real baby, just like the Bilo Baby, so that's why they share that uniqueness. Now the Bilo Baby was made by the Horseman company, where this is made by the EffanBee company. Now what happened was Horseman saw how this doll was a hit. They came out with their own doll like this, copied it, and made their own. The gentleman who made this baby said no, went to court, and he won, and then he put a copyright on them. Now they all have this oval circle on the back. This is EffanBee dolls walk, talk, sleep, and they came with a little gold heart. But the only thing else that he did was on the next ones, it had right on there 1924, because that's when he made this doll. It went into production quietly to come out in 1926. So the thing is that this one here doesn't say 1924 at all. So this is when I feel, I could be wrong, but I really feel I'm correct on this. This is the first one, and it was because of the lawsuit he put 1924, and he patented his work. He got the rights to it and everything because of the court case, and so he had to mark his work more. And by putting the date on it, 1924, it was his. Ta-da! Done and over with. Now you'll see that Horseman did the same thing with their Bilo Baby. They'll even put on dates because they didn't want anybody copying their work. So what one did, the other one did, and that seemed to be suffice enough to say, my work, keep your hands off of it. I made this in this year. That's what I am saying. I could be wrong, but I really feel I'm onto something with that. I stand corrected, and I don't have a problem with that if I am wrong, but it seemed like a lot of the dolls, these dolls came out with 1924 afterwards. There's a slew of them out there. It says 1924, 1924, all on the top of the circle. So that being the case, that's what I feel. Now, let's talk about the eyes. She had a unique set of eyes inside of her that were little balls. I've never seen them before. Why am I saying that? Well, let's just take a look for a minute. What am I used to seeing? We'll come over here and we'll take a look and see what I'm used to seeing. I am used to eyes looking like this. This is all I've ever seen. You can see I've got tons of them out here. They're on a cross bar, and they have a little bar that goes from one side of the head. They go from here to here, the bar does, and holds the eyes in across the head. And the doll's eyes, when it lays down, they close. When you put the doll's head up, they open. Okay? Well, this is what they do. This is what it looks like. It sits on this little bar. The eyes go, the crossbar goes in here. So when you lay the doll down, she sleeps. So you see the tops of the eyes. When you sit her up, her eyes would open up. Okay, so that's what you're seeing. Okay, I want to make sure you're seeing all this too. I'm trying to be more camera sensitive here. Let me see. Oh yeah, you are able to see all that. Okay, so anyways, I take this doll apart, take her off her body, and lo and behold, what do I see that's up inside of her here? I'm not seeing this set at all. I'm going to leave that out so you can see that. Oh, look what I found in there. My tweezers. How did they get in there? I don't know. All right, so I'm seeing eyes like this, sitting. You know, I got a few little weird ones like this too, but that I'm used to seeing. I've seen those many times. That's a little different, you know, but how they attach. But I do see a lot of these eyes right here. I want to put this right here like this. you know, now these may not be with the right ones, but there you go. Okay, so that's what I'm used to seeing. So now you see what this is what I've been working with. For the years I've been doing doll restoration, I've been seeing doll eyes like that. Can you see those really clear? I'm going to come up on that so that you can see them. Okay, that's what I'm used to seeing. Okay, we'll back up a little bit here. Now what am I used to seeing all of a sudden now? My eyes got opened up to a different way of seeing doll's eyes. And in this wonderful little EffanBee doll, she had another little piece of history in her. And this is what her eyes look like, if I can get them on the towel. This is her set of eyes. That's it. No crop, no bar. This bar does not exist inside of her. This is what was inside. This went from the top of her head. Now we're looking at a pair of eyes that went like this, inside of her. This went to the back of her head. So it goes into the back, up and down, and then these went to the front. And they would sleep back and forth. That's what they did. They go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Those were her eyes. Right there. Interesting. Never saw it before. So now you understand why I was a little taken back. Now, what was the other thing that I was telling you about too? Was that I said I wouldn't take these out. Well, her eyes are so gunky, they need help. And they were not opening up because of all the gunkiness. Because this stuff was stopping it. All this rough stuff was stopping her eyes from opening and closing. And see what I said by them being like balls? Like, that's just what I was seeing from behind. These balls at the back. So it's like the eyes were put over on these clay balls. And they feel like clay to me. And that's her eyes. Those are her eyes. And I'm like, wow, really interesting. So I'm going to put a new piece of felt circle on there. Her cork looks really good inside. But I would like to put another circle of felt on there. And just make sure that we're, you know, not hearing any clacking in there. You're not. But a new piece of felt won't hurt anything. So, yeah, I might put some stuff on her, like some linseed oil on her cork a little bit, just to kind of give it some life so it doesn't chip away. But other than that, because I'm not going to take her head apart again. But it's not a slide bar at all. There's nothing to what I usually do to get the eyes out of the head. Now this, if I was going to get a pair of eyes out of the head, I would use this thing and go from one end. Now this would be up inside the head, and I would just go like this in one side, this in the other. And I would, let's see if we can get this in there. There we go. And I would just squeeze this together to get the eyes, or open them up to get them out. Squeeze it together to get them out, and open it up to get them to go back in the head. This one's bent a bit. I can see that there. That's why it won't slide. I'll have to bend that back. But that's how this works. You need a tool like this to get the eyes in and out. But this one, no. This one here is going to be hard to put back in, but not impossible now. Now I see how it works. I know I can do this now. But it kind of made me jolt back a little bit when I seen it, because it was like, I'm not touching that. I don't know if I can get it back in. Now I can understand they put those, myself, I would feel they put those eyes in when the head was at a half head. That's how I would want to do it. But this doll's too well put together. I am not going to break her apart just to put her eyes back in. I will figure it out and get those eyes back in her. I might learn a new language when doing it, but but yeah, that's the secret to this doll and her eyes. And very interesting. I want to clean them up next. That's my next thing, and paint them and get them looking great again, and put them back in her head when it comes time after I'm done painting her. But yeah, quite the ordeal. You know, something different, something new. If I can't, what I might do is just take a bar and put a bar in her head that goes crosswise. Just take this off, and if I really can't get them on it, because I really like to get her eyes back in her head, and just put this on a crossbar like this, and you know, put them in this way if I have to. So I do have another way, but I really want them in with this because it's natural for her. This is her mechanism. I'm going to do everything in my power to get them in, but if all else fails and I can't get them back in, then I will resort to this as a very last ditch out for me. But I'm going to not try to do it at all. It's going to be something I'm going to really try not to do. So I'm staying away from it, actually. So let's pretend I didn't say that right now. We're going to just stay with this here and use this mechanism here that they have this is her birthright almost to have that put back in her. But anyways, thought I'd share that with you. The secrets of dolls. There's many, many secrets in these old dolls, and how they were made and everything, and how crude some of the ways were. And like I said, with the coils in the arms, it was a very crude way, but it worked, and it did the trick. It was very workable. But not today. You can see what it's doing to the composition, because why it's doing it to the composition is because it's getting old, and it's getting dry, and those springs are tight. And in the day it worked, but and it always seems to be one side starts to deteriorate. So the thing is to fix it and then just use tethering cords after that, and that's what I'll be doing. And it'll work just fine after that. So I'm excited to get her strung back together again. But first we're going to paint her and yeah, airbrush her hair and, you know, do what we need to do for her. But anyways, exciting stuff. But anyways, I thought you'd like to see this. And understanding our dolls and how they work is very important for everybody. And you know, the things that you find out, you collect, you know, wonderful stuff. But anyways, thanks for joining me. And there is going to be more coming up on these dolls. It's going to be a long haul on these dolls since there's 3 of them. But I hope you stick by me here and watch all this, and as it all unfolds and how I mix my paint. There's a lot coming up on these dolls. So thanks for joining me. Giselle, I am going to come back to your question that you asked me. I have not forgotten you. I don't have an answer just yet because it's something I've never thought about, but I'm going to put it out there to everybody as well. And I'm going to give you an answer that I'm coming up with that might help you. It's something that I've also wanted to know how you do that. So hang in there. I'm coming. Thanks again for joining me. Bye-bye.